Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Ravi Ratiram, says there's a strong public response to the National Agriculture Training Initiative. The National Agriculture Training Initiative is designed to empower small and medium-scale farmers, youth, women, and agriculture cooperatives with modern, sustainable, and climate-resilient farming techniques. The program offers free training across several areas within the agricultural sector. Minister Ratiram said to date, participants have benefited from approximately 35 courses. Now that's wonderful, really wonderful. But a lot of these individuals wouldn't be able to pursue their dreams if they're not given assistance by the state. You need to do a lot more investment into the agricultural sector here in Trinidad and Tobago if you want us to be able to become self-sustainable and also to be able to even export products like what Guyana is attempting to do at this point in time.
We've had close to 1,000 persons successfully completed the program thus far. So we are seeing a high level of participation, a high level of enthusiasm from our citizens out there to get involved in the National Agriculture Training Initiative.
According to the minister, these types of training programs help to boost agriculture's contribution to the country's GDP and in generating foreign exchange.
For us to be able to generate that $1 billion in foreign exchange over this term in office, it would require teaching our people, the practical guide towards export, which is what is happening here today. We are working on good agricultural producer certification with our farmers. We are working with our agro-processors. So we are filling all the gaps to ensure that it will be a smooth transition from the farm, not just to the table, but to the international market outside there.
One participant, Kevin Morton, said the program is instrumental in refreshing his knowledge in agriculture.
I think it's such an incredible institution for youths to develop, such a great skill. Yeah, that's what I think about it, and it's so beneficial,
Another participant, Kiran Ganga, said the information provided during the training is essential for farmers and encouraged others to take advantage of the opportunity.
Agriculture is the way forward, and I think that to the public and to everyone, it's something that you should explore.
The National Agriculture Training Initiative is designed to empower small and medium-scale farmers, youth, women, and agricultural cooperatives with modern, sustainable, and climate-resilient farming techniques. Nicole Dukey, TTT News.
The Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service participated in a Career Day initiative held on Saturday, 4th April 2026 at St. Mary's Children's Home in Tacarigua, aimed at preparing young persons nearing the age of maturity for a successful transition from residential care into independent living and employment. What about what happens when it is they have to leave those homes? How it is they're going to be able to do what they have to rent? Because a lot of the times these individuals don't really have family members. Anyhow, the event specifically targeted individuals between the ages of 17 and 18 who are required to leave residential homes upon reaching the age of maturity. The initiative focused on providing practical information about career opportunities, workplace expectations, and the steps necessary to secure meaningful employment. In addition to the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service, representatives from other uniformed services, including the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, were present along with entrepreneurs and community partners who shared motivational messages and mentorship with the participants. Wonderful initiative. Good job, officers, whether it is in the police or the fire service or the prison. But once again, I just want anyone that is looking at my videos, you could answer this for me. What happens to a lot of these individuals? If it is they don't have a proper job, where do they end up? If it is they have to leave these homes, because of course it's homes for the underage, where do they go if it is they don't have a proper job to be able to purchase a home or to rent? What really happens to them? As World Food Day approaches, Tobago is sowing the seeds of self-sufficiency by ramping up agricultural production across the island. Leaders aim to cut the nation's food import bill while boosting local harvests, a move that blends economic strategy with a renewed commitment to food security. Public Infrastructure and Transportation Secretary Assembly Member Nathaniel Charles Panton explained that the project not only aims to strengthen domestic agricultural supply, but also seeks to provide hundreds of jobs for workers within the unemployment relief program. Yes, people, it still has URP in Tobago, but that's because Tobago appears to be managing it far better than here in Trinidad and Tobago under the PNM.
As a matter of fact, this is just one farmer who has the ability to engage and train a lot of our workers here so that they too can be involved in producing, increasing production in Tobago. And we intend to continue along that vein because we have a lot of workers. Recently we took on over 700 10-on, 10-off people. So we're going to look at that model and see how we can boost agricultural production in several areas across Tobago.
According to Regional Supervisor of the URP Tobago Agricultural Unit, Roland Murray, with nearly 10,000 plants already in the ground, the program is set to deliver a fruitful yield for the local population.
So we had was to get these crops on the way because, as you know, the cassava is 6 to 7 months. So we'll have the World Food Day coming up in October, where the whole of Tobago will be coming out on different days. So we ramp up the production in order to facilitate World Food Day and even in between. And as the good secretary said before, that we will be doing byproducts with the produce that we are planting at this time.
Weather report for Trinidad and Tobago. Friday, April 10, 2026. General summary. The forecast for Friday, April 10 indicates mostly fair to partly cloudy and breezy conditions. A mild to moderate concentration of Saharan dust is present in the atmosphere. There is a 35% to 50% chance of isolated light to moderate showers occurring during the late morning to early afternoon. Temperature and heat index. Maximum temperature 30 degrees Celsius. Minimum temperature 23 degrees Celsius. Heat index real feel 34 degrees Celsius. Wind and sea conditions. Winds easterly 10 to 35 kilometers per hour with occasional higher gusts. Sea state moderate with wave heights 2.0 meters to 2.5 meters in open waters and less than 1.0 meters in sheltered areas. Sun and air quality. Sunrise 5:54 a.m. Sunset 6:14 p.m. Air quality fair to moderate. Sensitive groups should take precautions due to Saharan dust. Localized recreational areas. Maracas Bay moderate chop with breaking waves. Store Bay and Pigeon Point generally calm to slight seas.
Regional news now. Minister of Education Philip Jackson says he's looking to engage retired educators within communities to help mentor students. Speaking on radio recently, the minister said the ministry welcomes partners who support its educational initiatives aimed at advancing education in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He also urged current teachers to play an active role in the process. Minister Jackson stated that every child has different learning abilities and continues to remind teachers of this important reality in the classroom. That's something that teachers basically ignore most of the times, whether it's here in Trinidad and Tobago, throughout the Caribbean, and I believe to a great extent throughout the entire world. There are some children, you can explain something to them once or twice, they will be able to understand that and start to be able to do their work properly after that. And then there are other children that you need to explain it to them over and over again. It's not that the child that is slower isn't able to learn, just needs more time and a more thorough type of explanation for the work that they have to do, whether it's especially in mathematics. but not just mathematics, even like in English language and so forth. Some kids just need a little more time to be able to understand what is being explained to them, and therefore you have to be able to be willing to repeat the work for them, go and check them out and see, do you know what it is you're doing? Do you understand what you're doing? Instead of just placing them at the back of the class.
They have to look at the village as important, the community as an important partner in this effort. Where are the resources in the community? Find them. Retired individuals, maybe they're willing to help, they're looking for something to do. Find them. How do you bring them into the education service? And I've said we're talking about education service. Yeah. The word systems and sectors, sort of make the thing look a little out there. But when you talk about service, it brings it front and center that this is something you're really doing and working together. So we need to build relationships with the community, different stakeholders and so on. Teaching and learning is an individual journey. You can't just think, just on the classroom level, well, this is the expectations, everybody's supposed to perform this way, and that's it. We have to dig a bit deeper and say, okay, this is John's learning style. John is better with hands-on activities to grasp concept, whereas Tom might catch a concept right away and then already gone to application in his mind and so on. So we can't judge John by Tom, and I've been communicating to teachers, educators in general, administrators, that we have to be patient.
The tourism potential of Region 3 in Guyana is set to be significantly expanded following the signing of a memorandum of understanding, which is aimed at positioning the region as a premier, not just a destination, a premier destination, while unlocking new heritage-based experiences along the Essequibo border. So, we're going to have to be highlighting a whole lot more of Guyana in the travel segments in the future. The agreement was signed between the Region 3 Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Trail Masters Adventure Tours, with both parties committing to develop tourism products that highlight Region 3's rich cultural, historical, and natural assets. Founder of Trail Masters Adventure Tours, Claus Christopher Chin, said the initiative is rooted in a shared vision to transform underutilized sites into meaningful tourism experiences. Yes, that's what you do if you really want to develop your country. You diversify, you invest, you use the oil monies that you are generating to be able to diversify your economy. And that's what the UNC does very well here in Trinidad and Tobago as well. Unlike the PNM, with billions upon billions of dollars back in the 70s and 60s, well, not really 60s, but in the 70s, I believe, is when it had the oil boom. And then by 1986, Trinidad and Tobago was bankrupt. And then since then, every single time PNM enters office, the country just goes downhill. The Mines and Geology Division in Jamaica is seeking to quell fears amid mounting complaints from residents that the structural integrity of the Westmoreland Bridge in St. Mary is being compromised by mining activities. I tend to lean on the residents on side of this situation. Mining, what do you think that's going to cause? Anyhow, following recent heavy rains, residents have raised concerns that the structure is under threat due to what they claim are ongoing mining operations taking place throughout the day. One resident, O'Neill Bell, who provided photos of damage to the bridge, argued that if the structure is damaged or worse, collapses, traffic would have to be rerouted from Anoto Bay end to Grand Hole, some 9 to 10 miles away along the junction corridor, and then to Highgate, an additional 10 or so miles. I don't understand why they're allowing that in the first place. The Mines and Geology Division, what you all doing? Near, what is this, a bridge? Near a bridge? That makes any sense? I don't know, boy. I have viewers in Jamaica. Comment and let me know what you think about this. Grinding operations at the Port Vale Sugar Factory in Barbados officially resumed on the evening of April 8, 2026. The restart follows a prolonged industrial stalemate that had halted the already delayed 2026 sugar harvest just one day after it initially began in mid-March. The Minister of Agriculture, Food and Nutritional Security, Dr. Chantal Monroe-Knight, confirmed that all workers have returned to their posts following the standoff between the Barbados Energy and Sugar Company and the Unity Workers Union. The disruption was primarily caused by a combination of industrial relations disputes and infrastructure concerns. So hopefully that means that those issues have been resolved. Mia Motley does a reasonably good job in Barbados, so let's see where things go from there. A major multi-pronged infrastructure push is active across Long Island, Bahamas, driven by state-level investments, federal funding, and a focus on upgrading transportation, water, and power systems. Key projects include significant roadway rehabilitation, the advancement of green energy initiatives, and improvements in utility resiliency, with many projects expected to continue into later into 2026. Remember, once again, people, smaller islands like Bahamas and most of the Caribbean depend on tourism to generate most of their revenue, even though a lot of their citizens despise the colonials in America and Europe and so forth. You want them to visit, spend your money, but don't have any sort of influence on our countries and culture. Jed. I will never understand that, We are who we are today because of colonialism. We are a thriving democracy. Well, not really thriving that much because of corrupt governments, but we still, nevertheless, we are democracy with civilized laws and values because of colonialism. Not everything in our colonial past was good. Definitely, there were evils done, but a lot of positive came out of it as well.
We're waiting on a generator right now. We got a generator which is new. This is old technology again. We're trying to stay away from all the electronics. Our generator is ready, about a week time. The real challenge is getting the rock and bitumen here because, right now we're having issues all over the world with the war and stuff.
As for water improvement, officials revealing the project is near completion.
They're connecting the first 28,000 feet of water line on the main road. We have 4 more thousand feet to finish, and then we're going to step into the side roads. We should have, in 2 weeks' time, we should have all the materials for the water. It'll take us about 8 weeks to complete the water, 100%.
Former Senator and local government representative Jude Knowles commending officials for what he describes as, quote, going through with their promises.
I feel very great because it's long overdue, and I could say Mr. Sweeting lived up to his word.
Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs Clay Sweeting noting the work being done to the island's infrastructure should and will lift the burden of Long Islanders.
And not just regular sand seal, but asphalt-driven roads. So we're providing water to the communities that didn't have prior, and we're also providing smoother roads.
Now residents have pushed back at contractors for the road works, but Knowles made this promise to local motorists.
And the people is very critical of us and me home. So I can assure Long Island people that they will have the best job in the Bahamas. Be sure that.
Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Positive news now, puppy rescue. Detroit firefighters saved a malnourished puppy found perched at the top of a chimney on an abandoned, crumbling home. How did puppy reach up there in the first place? Wow. Animals, eh? The pup, affectionately named Stack, is now recovering under the care of Michigan Humane, a wonderful example of what the Bible said. God gave us dominion over the animals, over his creation. And dominion doesn't mean that we have to exploit and just destroy and kill everything. It means we're supposed to manage what God gave us. Take care of his creation. It's wonderful. The Bible says it, that he cares about even the sparrow,
He's like sitting in the chimney.
Awesome.
Hi, little guy. A lot smaller than what we thought he would be. Good. You got him. Come on. You're okay. Hi.
Omani Transport Minister said, regarding the Strait of Hormuz, Oman's position is clear. Oman has signed all international agreements related to maritime transport. The Strait of Hormuz is a natural passage not created by human intervention, and therefore no fees can be imposed on it according to the international agreement signed by the Sultanate. I hope Trump remembers that next time around when you're making ceasefire deals. You yourself, you were saying up to recently that the Strait of Hormuz needs to remain free for everyone to use. And then because you want a peace deal with Iran, you decided to tell the Ayatollah, okay, go ahead and charge people $2 million per ship. That was wrong. A lot of the agreement is good. Mainstream media gave false reports on the Trump administration when it pertains to the Iran New Deal for the ceasefire. But one part of it that was terrible and continues to be terrible is how you allow them to be able to charge a fee for passing through the Strait of Hormuz. Number one, it's unfair. And number two, it will be funding terror in Iran. Israel sent a wonderful and powerful yet short message to Americans, and definitely also President Trump said, if the Iranians fire at us, even one missile, we will immediately return to full-scale fighting with Iran. And don't tell them to stop, President Trump, because at the end of the day, as much as I support your administration in many ways, and I do believe that you did a wonderful job when it pertains to the operation in Iran, you always start a good job and then you stop. You stop, and that's what I can't handle at all. It's just really counterproductive what you end up doing a lot of the times. I know you are trying to show the world that you're willing to make peace. You can't make peace with terrorists, and that's what the Ayatollah are. Now for the interesting facts segment, a house cat named Maxwell turned out to be far from ordinary after his owners attached a GoPro to his collar. The footage showed him roaming the neighborhood and randomly starting fights with other cats. Clips shared on TikTok through the account Max2049 quickly went viral, gaining millions of followers. Lucky him. I have a TikTok account since 2019 and only have about 10,000 followers. It's still good, but my goodness. But anyhow, these kind of things is what go viral. Eh? Viewers were both amused and shocked, as Maxwell was clearly the instigator in both encounters. His unexpected double life transformed him into an internet sensation, proving even everyday pets can have wild personalities. I guess he's quite calm when he's at home. I wonder if my niece Samantha should try this, putting a GoPro on Leo, and let's see what he does during the night time.
Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News Travel Adventures. Portland, Oregon is a vibrant Pacific Northwest city renowned for its lush green spaces, tax-free shopping, and unparalleled food scene. Known as City of Roses, it offers a blend of urban culture and nature, featuring the expansive Forest Park, Japanese Garden, and famous Powell City of Books. Visitors enjoy top-tier microbreweries, diverse food cart pods, and easy access to Mount Hood. Key highlights and attractions. Nature and Gardens. The International Rose Test Garden, best blooms April-October, and Portland Japanese Garden are top attractions. Cultural icons. Visit Powell's City of Books, the world's largest independent bookstore, and the scenic Pittock Mansion. Culinary and brews. Explore over 500 food carts, like those at Cartapaya, and a thriving microbrewery scene. Outdoor activities. Hike within the city at Forest Park, or cycle along the Willamette River at Tom McCall Waterfront Park. Neighborhoods and shopping. Downtown, center for tax-free shopping and dining, offering easy walking to attractions. East Side, known for trendy boutiques, coffee roasters, and a laid-back vibe. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'll see you again tomorrow as our journey around the world continues.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's headline news. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe, most of all, in Jesus' name.